other big news this week, Trump's inauguration. I didn't watch I don't think I've ever watched the speech all the way through. It's all the inauguration speeches they're kind of like, we've heard it. We're going to change the country. The country's about to turn the corner. It's a new day. I'm kind of, it just doesn't interest me. I watch the highlights, things like that. But what I did notice is I've never seen that amount of young people at inauguration. You saw the Paul brothers, half the UFC was there, Theo Vaughn, anybody in that Joe Rogan camp was kind of there. I just saw a lot of younger people that I follow on social media. A lot of them was at that inauguration. And then everybody got on Snoop for performing, and Nelly. And I really like Nelly's response. Nelly said, look, I got asked to perform at the inauguration, regardless of who's the president. I would have did if Vice President Harris would have won and asked me, I would have went. If Joe Biden would have, when he won 4 years ago, I would have performed. George W. Bush. So I really like Nelly's perspective on that, because it is an honor to be asked to perform at the inauguration. And I think where we're headed with this country is, I don't think we're just relying on the media to make our decisions anymore. Because my tune has changed on politics. I'm not really a Democrat or a Republican. I just kind of see who's doing right by the people and who I feel is trying to do right by the people. And so I think that 8 years ago when Trump got in office, I was beating the drums of racist, terrible for this country, don't mess with me, don't talk to me if you vote for Trump. And now I've kind of eased up on that a little bit. I don't think he's a racist. There's been some things he did that I don't agree with, but that goes with any president. I still think the coolest president we've ever had was Barack Obama. I thought he was just, as a person, I think he was the coolest. You can't in one hand say, screw Donald Trump, but then turn a blind eye to what the Clintons were doing. So it's like, and I was a Bill Clinton dude. I used to love that guy when he was in office. But just kind of, I don't try to look at people like everything they do is bad or everything they do is good. I'm like, yeah, I like what he's doing with this, but I don't like what he's doing over here. I like what he said about him, didn't like what he said about him. I don't just think it's all bad or all good. And that's the problem I got with politics. It's either you're with Donald Trump at 100%, or you got to be against him on 100%. And I'm just not there. I'm like, yeah, I agree with that, but not that. And I think 8 years ago when he got in office, it was just all bad. It was like, no. Whatever he does, it can't be good. And then he would do some good stuff, and I'd be like, kind of like that. But I would never admit it. So now I'm the same way with Biden, same way with Barack, same with all of them. When I started to think for myself and not let CNN or Fox or CBS or ABC try to tell me how I'm supposed to think, again, thank you to social media, thank you to Twitter, thank you to Google. You can look everything up. Now I'm able to think for myself, and I'm like, oh, I agree with that, but I don't agree with that. And let's keep moving. Like Nelly said, if you get asked to perform at the inauguration, it's an honor. And you do it. Like when I was in the honor guard in DC, I did Clinton's inauguration. And when you're in the President Honor Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, you ain't got a choice. Whoever wins is going to win, and you're going to do the parade, and you're going to do the eyes right or eyes left, and you're going to pay your respects and march on by them. Didn't matter who won. When I'm 18 years old, and when President got elected, President Clinton, we were practicing for the inauguration parade, regardless of who won. If Bush would have won or Clinton would have won, we were going to do the inauguration parade regardless. And we were going to be respectful, and we were going to do our job and keep it moving. So in that aspect, that's what Nelly was saying. You get asked to perform, you perform. Call me an optimist now. Who's ever our president, I'm going to support, because that's our president. Doesn't mean I agree with everything, but that's where I'm at now. So, it was cool to see all those social media influencers, podcasters, at the inauguration. Because in the past, you would have thought that would have never happened, but we're just in a different age right now. So, but people was on Snoop, because 8 years ago, Snoop was like, I want to know which one of you Jigga, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word, Jigga Man, are going to go up there and perform for Donald Trump. And then I guess what Snoop did, it wasn't a, Donald Trump didn't invite him. I don't think it was an official Donald Trump inauguration party, but it was an inauguration party. And Donald Trump's name was on like flyers. So Snoop hasn't really addressed it. And not that he has to either. I love how people say, I'm about integrity. It's not about money. I'm like, okay, let's see how much money somebody's going to pay you. Because this is what I know. We're in a day and age where if you build up enough equity in your character and how you treat people and how people perceive you, there's really nothing you can't come back from. So regardless if Snoop was doing this for Donald Trump, was he doing it for crypto? It was like a crypto event or something. Regardless, Snoop has built up enough equity, has enough fans, enough popularity, he can come back from anything. So all the people that said, he sold out, Snoop, blah, 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 I'm like this. It ain't going to affect his pockets. In fact, it just increased his pockets, honestly. Because of whatever they paid him, it was a lot for him to do that. I guarantee you that. That was a whole bunch. But that's neither here nor there.